Hello, all you rabid Lions fans, and welcome to Lions on the Prowl. News, rumors, and debates from the fans' perspective. Here's Jim and Tim.
Hello, Lions fans, and welcome to Lions on the Prowl. My name's Jim.
And my name is Maniac Tim.
And I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to say about this whole dumpster fire that we got going on here. But you lose to the 1-9 Redskins. Driscoll looks really good as Stafford's backup. We're doing well without Stafford. That's great news. Glad we got the next guy up, and when Stafford's hurt, he's sitting down, as he should. But we lose to the 1-9 Redskins.
Right.
And basically, it's because of that. Because we had a running game today. Scarborough Fair was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
A lot of mistakes there.
Special teams worked very
Right.
special again. They did this all year where they pooch punt the frickin' ball.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been making plays, but this time, guess what? They ran into somebody they couldn't make a play on, and it burned them. Kick the frickin' ball in the end zone.
Right.
I know your defense is awful, and you need to start at the 10, but it doesn't matter if they go 90 yards or 80 or 75 yards, as long as you make them go the distance of the field, which you usually do.
And not in just one
Not
play.
in just one play.
I mean, my God. And we really cannot blame this on the refs either, because it wasn't like that.
No, it wasn't at all.
I mean,
So, skipping over this game because it is absolutely meaningless. It really is. The bigger picture here is the story. So, you're without your number one center.
Right.
You're without your fullback.
Right.
You're without your number one running back.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think they're without number one and number two.
I think so, too, yeah.
Yeah. You're without Rashad Melvin, the second
Right.
corner. You're without Deshaun Hand. You're without Trey Flowers. You're without Rashad Melvin.
Right.
Tracy Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like a scab team from
Right.
from the
That's
strike
true.
era.
That's true.
I understand why they lost, and I know this regime is going to use it as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But bottom line in the NFL is results, and we are not getting
Yeah. And where did the better than talented team that Bob Quinn said that he had where Coach Cordova has failed? Because I don't think Bob knows how to bring in talent.
I think he knows how to bring in talent. I think he doesn't bring in healthy talent.
Right.
You know, we knew. Well, okay. Let me put it this way. I knew
Mm-hmm.
that Carry-On Bags Johnson
Mm-hmm.
was
Injury.
injury prone.
Yep.
I'm the one that said it right away,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody got on me for it. But that's okay. We know what it is now. I think it's a problem of Austin Bryant. Just
Right.
his first game, I think, was today.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Hand's been out just about the whole year. I think he
Right.
played one game. Flowers has been playing hurt, but yet he was hurt again. Now he's out.
Right.
Ragnow's out, but he didn't really have a big injury-prone thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't keep anybody healthy.
Yeah. But, really even a bigger thing to me is you don't have the confidence in, at least as a fan, and I'm not at all blaming this on the fans, but we used to have the confidence that this team could come back. And even when Stafford was in there. You don't have that type of confidence anymore. I mean, the first part of the season, it was like we were being wondered on how things were going our way. The breaks and stuff like that.
I got to completely disagree with you. The offense hasn't been the problem. The defense has been the problem. And I hate to say this, but the offense was ranked number 8th in
Right.
the league before this game.
Mhm.
Defense is 31st.
Yeah.
The running game was terrible.
Right.
Okay, so the only thing that you got going good is the thing you're complaining about.
Okay. But what I'm saying is with the system for the last couple of years, you have not been able to see those comeback wins. I mean, whether it's the defense is not, and this is not at all blaming it on Stafford or blaming things on the system. The system that is falling short, that that doesn't have the confidence to really win.
They put
or
it down
even
the
compete.
Field, but I hate to say this, but they are moving the ball.
Mhm.
They do put it in the end zone. They have scored points this year. So then they were the eighth ranked offense in the entire league, and they didn't have a running game. So
Right.
It's like, and they have a backup quarterback in there, and they're still pretty high up there. I don't think this is the issue. I think the issue is your defense can't stop anybody.
But you can't score touchdowns either, and that's been the issue too. No, okay, but not when it counted at the end.
What do you mean when it counted at the
when
end?
it counted at the end,
stop anybody. You got to keep scoring touchdowns over and over and over again.
But then so does the other team. Need to keep scoring. Yeah, but we should be able to. We should be able to.
You can't score every single time because everybody's
but
defense
if they
isn't
can,
as bad as ours.
If they can,
yeah,
then we should be able to.
Yeah, they can because our defense is ranked 31st. Is their defense ranked 32nd? No, there's only one team worse than us. So every other team has a better defense than we do. So we have to score against a better defense than the opposing offense has to score on. So yes, the defense is the problem.
But it's not the only problem.
Okay, I agree. Special teams are awful. Totally, I give you that. The running game hasn't been good. I'll give you that. But saying that touchdowns are the problem, I don't believe that at all. I don't.
Well, when you got to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns,
really,
most of the time, yeah, that is a problem.
But I don't think we do. Not all the time. Matthew Stafford has thrown for 19 touchdowns. Driscoll's thrown for 3. That's 21 touchdowns. It's a lot of touchdowns, Tim. That's not, bottom of the league or anything. Stafford's thrown for 2,499 yards. And he hasn't played in the last few games. I'm saying Kenny Galladay's had 731 yards receiving this year so far. They're scoring. The other team, 731 yards for Galladay, 655 yards for Jones, 452 yards for Amendola, and it goes on. I don't think touchdowns are the biggest thing that they have problems with. I think they have more of a problem with the defense allowing points and stuff like that. I do. I don't think this is a. I know we don't have the comeback ability, but part of it is because the defense can't stop anybody. Well,
in this game, there really wasn't a lot of where the defense didn't stop.
Did this game have Stafford?
No.
Okay. There you go.
But the defense went ahead and stopped them quite a bit.
They did.
But I'm not going ahead and saying the
also
defense isn't a problem, but I'm saying that the lack of being able to come back has made a difference the last couple of years.
Yeah, not being able to come back, but it's not the only thing in that.
No, and I'm not saying it's the only thing,
and
but I mean that was the thing that
I don't think it's even the biggest thing at all. I think that we have there's failures on this whole team.
Right.
I mean, it's not just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of errors. It's like we give up a touchdown in special teams today. The defense plays a little better today, but then the special teams lets us down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what happened with that. I don't know what it was. But when our kicker kicks a ball straight down the middle and all of a sudden it just flies to the other side like they've got freaking anti-gravity or something, that's a problem.
Right.
That was some freak of nature type thing.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't happen, we probably win this game. So, I mean, there's so many things, we didn't even have to make a comeback. We were tied.
Right.
And our guy he tried to throw an interception first. Then he succeeded in throwing an interception. Then we get the ball back, and he throws another interception. Why? And Stafford has thrown interceptions before in pressure situations because he's trying to carry the team on his back. No wonder it's broken. But, this quarterback is not Matthew Stafford.
No, he isn't.
This is what the fans, some of them were screaming for when they said trade him. This is what they wanted. Because if we had traded him this year, we wouldn't have gotten anything but draft picks. Right? So this is what we would have had this year. Because the Lions don't go out and get anybody, if you've noticed.
Well, they try, but they usually get like the injured players or something like that.
Or
they go ahead and...
I don't know that they try. You don't know that they try.
Well, they did try to, they brought in Trey Flowers, injured. But they were willing to go ahead and they paid him a lot of money. So what I'm saying is that the confidence in Quinn being able to evaluate the talent to bring in the people in here to win, that's what I'm saying is also a problem too, because he's going after the wrong people.
I don't agree with. Or that I agree with. That I have no problem with. That Quinn is not bringing in the right people. Oh, I don't know. I mean, we haven't even had a team that's been, fully stocked. I don't think we've had a healthy team the entire year. The people that we had out today go right down the middle.
Right.
It's Ragnow. It's Vaughn, the fullback.
Right.
It's, you want to say it's Kerryon Johnson and Stafford. Everybody down the middle of that team was injured today.
Right.
So it's like, and on the defensive side of the ball, 2 of your starting defensive linemen, your second corner is out, your number 1 safety is out. I mean, there's a lot of players out. There's a lot of starters out.
Right.
There's a lot of difference makers out. But you still lost the 1-9 Washington Redskins.
Right.
And I don't know if there's an excuse for that.
Also losing to the Bears.
Well, we're going to lose to the Bears again in a couple of days. Get ready for Thanksgiving, guys. There's not going to be much to be thankful for on that day.
Unless you're a Bears fan.
Well, unless you're a Bears fan. And we do have Bears fans that listen to the show. Lindsay, Val, a few people that listen to the show that are Bears fans.
Right.
So we got to, acknowledge them a little bit. Because they're going to be having fun on Thanksgiving while we're going to be pissed off. That's just the way it is, man. This year's done. This year's over. I said it was over before.
But then they tried to fool us for a little bit. Then, when it looked like they could compete with Kansas City and...
Well, it's the same. It's the same smoke and mirrors as last year.
Yeah, it is.
We're like, this team sucks because they got beat by the Jets last year. And then all of a sudden, they beat the Patriots. Yeah. And they beat Miami. And we're like, oh, my gosh, this team could be something. And then they turned to crap, just like they did this year. Yeah. Same song and dance.
Right, and it's like after that Green Bay fiasco where the league
got cheated.
They got cheated. That's I'm not saying, but after that, they've been a totally different team too.
Yeah, because
they haven't been.
Why
even,
try when the refs are going to take it away from you anyway?
Or that.
Maybe
not only the refs, but the NFL is going to take away.
Maybe the whole team said screw it. And I would applaud them if they did. I'm going to be honest with you. I would applaud them if they just said, yeah, who cares? We're not going to win anyway. And that's not because of the fans, and I know people will give me some backlash about that. But here's what I'm telling you. Somebody needs to do something about the officiating in this league. And if this is a protest, at least say it's that. Or something, because it makes no sense the way it is. We got about 30 seconds. We're coming up on a break. Any other thoughts on today's game? Because we're going to go into a bunch of Patricia and Quinn stuff after the break.
Not really. It just sucks.
It sucks.
I mean,
we lost to the 1-9 Redskins, folks. And there's just no coming back from that.
Right.
I don't see this team doing anything this year. We're coming up on a break, and right after this break, we're going to get into a little Patricia and Quinn for you. So stay tuned.
Hello, Lions fans. Would you like to support the continuation of this show? Become a patron. Go to www.patreon.com/Lions on the Prowl. Thank you for supporting our mission to give you Lions news and rumors from the fans' perspective.
And we're back, and worse than ever. I mean, I have had issues in the last, I don't know. Well, it's 2 years,
Right.
with Matt, Patricia, Bob, Quinn.
Mhm.
We get Tim more than me. Gets more excited about this team than I do. Because I didn't think we were there yet. That's okay. At least we were building something, I
Right.
felt. But I don't feel that way now. And there is a lot of injuries, and I know fans are going to go crazy and stuff like this and everything. But I'll ask you, do you feel like the Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia era is over already?
I think it should be. They're not going after the right players or injured players or whatever. I think it should be. Unfortunately, I think the Fords will give them more time. Reason why I feel it should be over, because I don't think it's going to be any better 2 years, 3 years down the road.
I don't either.
You know, these are not just growing pains. If they were growing pains to get to where you wanted to be, yeah, I would say stick with it. But when you're, as you have brought up, just getting injured players, I mean, like, they go ahead and they sign C.J. Anderson, then they cut him. Because, I mean, there needs to be some lack of evaluating talent, too.
I don't know. Kennard's really good,
Right.
but he's not Khalil Mack.
Right.
Rashad Melvin is definitely not,
Mm-hmm.
the cornerbacks that they could have had.
Right.
Scarborough Fair is really good. I
Mhm.
mean, he's a pretty good running back. I don't know whether this is going to continue.
Right.
But right now, he's playing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Billy Sims, Barry Sanders, and Bo Scarborough all saying BS. You
Right.
still lose.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you have the best running back of all time.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have one of the better quarterbacks, elite quarterback. It doesn't matter if you have one of the best wide receivers of all time. We still lose.
Right.
What is it going to take for this team to get its head out of its ass and become the team that we want it to be, a perennial winner? I don't think it's ever going to happen right now. At this point, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I don't think. Maybe if Roger Goodell went ahead and bought the team,
No,
then maybe. But I mean, and obviously that was a joke. But how important is it to Martha for her to have a winning team?
The Lions love mediocrity. They can say all the right things.
Mhm.
They can get the flashy player that they know is only mediocre that they overpay for.
Right.
They can get the player at the end of his contract. They can get the player that's not very good. They can
Right.
do those things. They're good at that.
Mhm.
But when there's a player out there on the radar that could really turn this team around, no, we can't do that. It's too rich for our blood. We like mediocrity.
Yeah. But why would you pay Trey Flowers what you paid him when you could have got somebody maybe much more dominant on defense?
Well, we got Snacks Harris.
Right.
I mean, we had this just amazing defensive line, as they said,
Mm-hmm.
but none of them can stay healthy.
Right.
I'm sorry. This whole team has health issues.
Right.
It seems like. If they're all healthy, can they play at a level with other teams? I don't even know that. I don't know that. They didn't get a running game together even when they had Kerryon Johnson.
True.
They didn't even run him all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like, maybe one game it looked like Kerryon was going to be that star.
Right.
But, this year, one game this year, of course.
Good, not great. That is the theme for the
Mhm.
Detroit Lions.
Right.
Good, not great. They got a shiny toy usually on their team,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have a team around it.
Right.
And guys, if you're going to fall for this dog and pony show over and over again, I feel sorry for you. And I'm a Lions fan, and I'm absolutely pissed off to the core that we continue to put up with this BS year after year after year after year. It's the same old Lions
Right.
all the time in perpetuity.
Mhm.
It's not anything different than the regime before, except, wait, yes it is. We're worse.
Yeah, we very much so.
And I'm saying you need to fire Patricia and Quinn
Yeah.
now. Not
Right.
Don't wait. Just get rid of them now. It's over. It's
Yeah.
going to be over. You might as well end it now instead of sitting there giving them another year and us going through this again next year.
Okay, so if you did, what would you do? Promote Bevel?
No, I don't promote Bevel, but I keep him because so far
Mhm.
he's had a pretty good offense,
Right.
and at least you don't have to rebuild the offense.
Right.
You'll have to rebuild the defense completely.
Yeah.
But you won't have to rebuild the offense at
Mhm.
least. I don't know who I would hire. I think I would hire someone with some NFL experience,
Yeah.
someone who's got a pretty good track record of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unfortunately, there's not those people don't grow on
Yeah.
trees.
Right.
When Andy Reid was out there, you know, Kansas City snapped him up. Kansas City's been
Right.
in the playoffs ever since.
Yep.
You know, or pretty close.
Mhm.
Every year they're contenders every year.
Yeah.
You want to know somebody who can evaluate talent? That's that guy.
Yeah. But
Or
of
there's
course
some
we
guy
will-
in New England too
Yeah.
that's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the guys that we
Mhm.
have.
Right, and of course, one of the things that we also look at too is that Belichick's assistants that have been promoted really haven't done good.
And if you look at the defense for the New England Patriots now, it's better than it's ever
Yeah.
been under Patricia.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things to revisit what we talked about before the season last year is Patricia really didn't use guys like Cleo Mack. He used the edge rushers. That's not working out so good.
Khalil Mack would have been the jack linebacker. Yes, that is in this defense. Tim.
Okay.
He's a linebacker, pass
Mhm.
rusher, but he can also cover.
Okay.
And that's the one thing we really don't have from our linebacking core is somebody who can cover tight ends pretty good. So we had to go out and get Coleman to do that
Mm-hmm.
instead. And we've been a little better at it, but still crossing routes kill us.
Yeah.
Our defense is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
We stop the run for the most part, but we don't stop third
Yeah.
downs very well.
No.
We don't tackle well.
Right.
Davis is pretty good. If you point him in one direction and just run him in one direction, if
Yeah.
that quarterback's in line at that direction, he gets to the
Right.
quarterback. If he's off by like 0.2 microns, no, he's
Yeah.
going to run right past him.
Now, this is just basically a question directed at you. Why do you feel we're not knocking the ball out anymore as far as for our defense? Is it because
That's
the players
a
are
good
hurt?
question. I don't know. We got away from it though.
Right.
Does it speak to Patricia losing the team? I don't know. I mean, we were doing it every
Right.
game, and we noticed it, and it was an identity, and then all of a sudden they stopped.
Yeah.
I think they still try to do it, but I think other teams have realized what they've been doing and put an emphasis on ball control
Okay.
or ball security more than they used to.
Mm-hmm.
But they were holding it pretty tight before, and they were punching that ball out.
Right.
I don't know why they haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know why they went away from it. Why do they? Why
Why
do
do
they
you-
always go away from things that work?
Yeah. Really, that's true.
And they do
Yeah.
all the
and
time.
that's one thing you have seen, not only with this regime but other ones.
Yeah,
They'll go ahead and something will be working and stuff like that, and then
let's go
it may
away
get
from that
stopped.
and run
It-
the ball.
yeah. It may
Yeah,
get
let's get a big lead
Mhm.
and run the ball so the other team can come back. And
yeah.
that's not keep doing what we're doing well.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. This team has baffled me for years,
Right.
but I think I've finally come up with the solution to the problem. What is actually going on?
Okay.
The Ford family, as long as those seats are full,
Mm-hmm.
it could give a damn less about winning.
Right.
Because if you win,
Mm-hmm.
where do you go from there? It's
Right.
only a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
If you never win and you always build hope, then you're going to fill that stadium every year and make money.
But
And the bottom line is it's a business and they want to make money, so mediocrity is the way the Lions go.
But they have lost a lot of people by running that way.
But that stadium is still full.
Right.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lions fans say to themselves, I'm not a fan if I don't go and support my team. Yeah, guess what? You're contributing to this mediocrity. This BS that we see year after year after year after year. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they think they call it the same old Lions?
Right.
SOL. Shit out of luck. Same old Lions. It's the same phrase.
Yeah.
It means the same thing. Is there hope in Detroit? No, there is not. That's just the basic thing I can tell you. There is not. Until they sell this team.
Right.
Or something. I don't see. I mean, I've heard the lip service.
Yeah.
I've seen them clear out the front office to bring new people in, but I haven't seen the change.
Right.
You know what change I'm talking about? Wins.
Mm-hmm. Now, what if they went ahead and did something like what happened in Green Bay? Okay, instead of a private owner, Detroit buys it.
That'd be great.
Because then
If Detroit had any money, they probably would.
Right.
I'm just kidding. That's a bad joke, guys. Sorry.
Because, I mean, that's one thing that's unique with franchise as far as in Green Bay is basically the city owns the team.
Yeah, the city owns the team.
Mm-hmm.
And with ours, the shitty people own the team.
Right. And if you looked at, I know growing up, Ford's vehicles was always kind of considered a joke.
Yeah, so's the team.
I know. So it's like, okay.
I have been on this earth for 50 years now.
I know.
Half a century, right? So about 40 years of my life, I've been rooting for this godforsaken team.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have every right to be upset, every right to be pissed off. They have not won the NFC North since its inception.
Right.
They have not been to a Super Bowl. They have not won an NFC Championship game. They've only been in one NFC Championship game.
Right.
They've only won one playoff game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In their entire existence since there was a Super Bowl. This has to change.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot, as fans, sit by and think, next year's going to be better, because it won't.
Right. So definitely we got to get rid of the owners.
I agree with that.
I mean,
what else has to change? They changed the regime. They've changed the regime over and over and over. We talk about Monty Clark. We talk about Wayne Fonts.
Right.
We talk about, Pound the Rock with Rod Marinelli and 0-16. We talk about getting Stafford and getting all these players that were really
Darryl
good.
Rogers.
Okay, wait a second. Now there's the frickin' salary cap, and then there's a rookie salary cap after our guys that we got. We have to get rid of.
Yeah.
Does it seem that there's always something in the way of the Lions winning?
Yeah. And then when you do get guys like Sue and stuff like that, the NFL steps in and goes ahead and makes them look.
And the media.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean,
media.
One of the things I do want to say about Green Bay is that they're a media-driven team, too. Because I do think that one of the reasons they get the favoritism as far as against teams like the Lions is that a lot of even sportscasters would have had egg on their face if Green Bay would have lost.
Yes.
Because everybody was predicting, Green Bay's going to be great. Green Bay's going to be great.
And they're not that good.
No.
I'm still going to say the same things. They're not going anywhere this year, guys.
Yep.
If you're in Green Bay and you're hoping for a Super Bowl, you are going to be sadly mistaken.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers, this is for you. If you think that win that you got against the Lions, you guys earned it. No, it was given to you. All right. And you were so proud about that win because you couldn't beat them without the help of the officials.
We got a break coming up, and we'll be back for our final segment on what will we do with this team going forward.
Lions on the Prowl is currently seeking sponsors for the show. If your business would like to reach our audience, please email lionsontheprowl14@gmail.com.
And we're back, and we're going to talk in this last segment about what we do going forward. Me and Tim are of the opinion that the Patricia Quinn era is over already.
Right.
You might disagree with that. That's okay. You might give him another year and see what happens. But I've seen enough of Quinn to know that I think there's some things he does well. And I do think that at some point, I believe that his drafts were okay. And, he was doing pretty good, but this team just is so injury-prone every year. It's a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not better than 9-7.
No, it's not.
This is not something we can tolerate. I think it's over.
I do too. I mean,
So, sorry about that. So where do we go from here?
oh God.
You got an aging quarterback.
Yes.
You have no backup that you've developed.
Mm-hmm.
Driscoll's not the answer. That's in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have drafted a quarterback, I think, this last season.
Right.
Or the season before that.
Mm-hmm.
To actually sit somebody that you could develop under Stafford.
Right.
They didn't do that.
No.
So, even though Quinn says I pick a quarterback every year, that was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't.
But he doesn't pick somebody that's going to work. I mean, he brings in. Well, I mean, there's been a couple quarterbacks but he brings in failures.
Yeah, he brings in. He's good at that.
He
brings in fails.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
For sure.
Yes.
I
And
don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that we have brought in backup quarterback after backup.
Yeah, I know.
Quarterback after backup
Yep.
quarterback this year, and we settled on Driscoll, and we've seen what the results are of that mess. And I know he's still learning. I'm not trying to be totally down on him, but it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we go from here? I think we need a legit GM that has GM experience.
Right.
That's actually been a GM before and been successful. There should be some ESPN analyst out there that has some kind of a,
Definitely not Matt Millen.
Yeah,
not a guy like that.
He is kind of out there, but I don't think
I mean not. A guy, not a
but
guy.
I mean somebody
like
who
Matt
has
Millen.
some experience,
Right?
and somebody who's had some success.
Mm-hmm.
Coach-wise, that would be up to that GM. There are some out
Right.
there. Let's get Tony Dungy out of retirement, shall we? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but
Right.
I mean, we have to do something, and I think it has to be somebody experienced.
Mhm.
I think too often we continue to let these new people try to change our culture and change who we are to match someone else that's had success. And I think we need to find somebody that can develop a system that everybody else copies.
Mm-hmm.
in Detroit.
Right. Now, how about somebody like, if he would, or Jimmy Johnson?
Ooh. I don't know if he could get out there with his walker, be out there. Can we get him out of the nursing home? Can he be free on weekends, or can he get a pass? Or I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what the answers are per se.
And obviously, the people who have the money that.
I guess it's just as bad as Tony Dungy. We could go with Santa down in Illinois. That's Lovey Smith with the white beard.
Oh
kidding.
God,
that would be a disaster.
No. But yeah,
But I don't know who would not be a disaster in this culture. I just can't understand how you change this.
Mm-hmm.
Other teams have done it. The Saints were the Aints, and they did it. They turned it around. Even Cleveland's winning.
Right.
Although they have a losing record still, but at least they're winning, or they were. I don't know. I'm so bummed about this team. I knew we were going to be not great, but I didn't think we were going to be this bad again.
Right.
And we were this bad last year, and I sucked down some more Kool-Aid in the off season, and I'm the negative one.
Right.
Tim drinks Kool-Aid like he's got diabetes.
But I mean, even this season, oh gosh, this season is like, no, there's no hope for this regime. There's no hope for this team.
No.
I mean, you had it. Then Green Bay happened. I mean, then and
that started
it
the
changed.
crushing.
And
I mean,
yeah,
started it.
and you kept on seeing more and more injuries each week. I mean, more and more. I mean, it's crazy.
The
and then, of course,
wrong is what is the deal with all the injuries? And I mean, there's a slew of them.
Yeah.
But this is across the board in the NFL.
Right. And, of course, when they really didn't make the right moves before the trade deadline.
Absolutely.
That really, it's like they knew what they had for the running back. They knew their running back was hurt. But who did
They could have got a better one for a sixth-round draft pick, almost seventh-round draft pick, and they didn't do it.
Right.
Do you think they wanted to lose this year? Because it really looks that way.
It does. It does. I mean, is there somebody that they have?
Well, Tua was out there, but he destroyed his body. So I don't know if he'll be ready for next year or not, and that's quarterback.
Yeah. I
don't know.
I don't.
I mean, what the heck? I mean, I hate to say this, but it's almost like they're tanking.
Mm-hmm. Because they don't seem to care that they're losing, and that's one thing about. That's one thing why they said that we got rid of Jim Caldwell is because he didn't show no emotions. But, I mean, you don't see much. I mean, you hear the same excuses from Patricia. Oh, yeah, we just got to get better. We just got to quit having so many men.
Doesn't it remind you of Marinelli and Pound the Rock?
Yeah, right.
And we know what we're doing wrong. We just got to fix it. We just got. We're real close to being good.
We want you to
we're
fix
0-16,
it, not just
moron.
Yeah. We want you to fix it, not. It's going to be, I mean, when do you get past the, we need to fix it to, it's fixed. That's what we need.
It won't be this year.
No, it won't
tell
be.
You that much.
And it makes no sense to even do it this year now. I mean,
we're 3-7-1.
Yeah. I mean,
we are in last place of the NFC North.
And even if
people were talking about us winning the division at one point.
Right.
What?
I mean,
this team is terrible.
Yeah,
again.
it is.
If we're lucky, we'll get to 6-10 again, or 6-9-1 again.
Right.
If we're lucky.
And I can't guarantee. I don't see it. I mean, we still got to play Minnesota at Minnesota. We got to play, of course, Green Bay at home.
We got 5 games left. Correct.
I mean,
is that correct math here? 7 and 3. That's 10 and 11. So we've got 16 games. We got 5 games left.
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We play Tampa. I know that much.
Yeah, and Tampa.
We have lost 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We only scored 13 points against Chicago. We only scored 27 points last week. That's not too bad. We scored 16 points today. You can see it's going down. Scarborough got 98 yards, by the way. So the difference, the drop-off. Let's see. Stafford in the loss to Oakland had 406 yards. Driscoll's had 269, 209, and 207. Stafford had his games over as well, too. 245, 201, 291, 265. But for the 385, 364, 342, he's been pretty good. It's just, it's not enough. I mean, we've won. Oh, this is awful. We were 2-0-1, Tim.
Right.
Undefeated.
I know. It's crazy. Now, basically, now since the season is over,
we've lost 7 out of the last 8 games.
Right. If Stafford can play next week, do you play him?
No, I don't play Stafford the rest of the year.
Right, and I agree because why would you go ahead and want to get him hurt worse?
No reason for that.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So we lose to the Bears. We lose to Minnesota. We might beat Tampa Bay. We probably won't. We lose to Denver, and then we lose to Green Bay.
And see, that's where I'm looking at. That's why this regime got to go.
Yeah.
I mean, if
that plays out.
Right.
Which it may or may not.
Mm-hmm.
But if that plays out, 4-12 this year, 6-10 last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10-22 in 2 years, Tim.
Yep.
No way.
No. Yeah, no way.
There's no way I want a third season
Right.
of that. No way.
Yeah, and even if you give him third season, I don't see where he's going to improve that much within that third season, or if you just give it to him. I mean, it's crazy.
There's no reason to believe
Yeah.
that they're going to be any better.
Right.
No reason whatsoever to believe they're
I
going to
mean,
be any better.
there's something wrong where you're seeing, people, where like when Calvin Johnson walks away from this team, Barry Sanders walked away.
from this team.
Now
Will
one
Stafford
thing,
do it?
no,
I don't think so either.
no, Stafford, he's dedicated to this team.
I don't know why.
I don't.
'Cause they're not. They're not.
Right.
They're not
It's
dedicated to him. We'll
Yeah.
put it that way.
I mean, they have not been able to figure out how to put a team around them to make, to give him the championship team that he wants. And when they do, if they ever did, then the NFL is going to step in and say, all right, we'll use our refs to go ahead and take it away from you.
Yeah, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point do you just say, forget it?
Right?
I mean, as a fan, honestly, what can we do to get our integrity back? I think that's more of what I'm
Mhm.
worried about. What do we do to get our integrity back?
Right.
As fans, as a team,
Mhm.
it's crazy. We don't have any. Wow, that's terrible. We don't have any respect,
Right.
and we're never going to get any the way this is going on.
No.
And I just don't. I don't see this team as ever winning. I mean, ever. I don't mean now or it's coming. It's never going to happen.
Right.
Never. Because it's the same thing over and
Mhm.
over and over again. It's draft picks that don't work out. It's terrible first round picks, terrible second round picks. We just waste draft capital, and we don't trade away the draft picks to get anybody halfway decent to get into town.
Right.
Because we need the draft picks so bad, and then we waste those too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a disaster.
Yep.
And I'm not abandoning my team. That's not what I'm saying. But we need to stand up and say, come on.
Yeah.
You got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. And
And they're doing nothing.
right.
Over and over and over again. Yeah, this is basically a bitch and complain session.
Yeah. I mean,
I get you. I get you guys. I get it. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say.
mm-hmm.
This team's awful.
It is. It is. They're not contenders at all. They're not. I mean, they keeping the games close. You're not. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
Close doesn't cut it.
Competitive is only good when you win some of those games.
Right.
The majority of those games
Yes.
you win, not
Mhm.
lose. I don't care if you lost by 3 points or 50 points.
Right.
Well, yeah, maybe I do. But
Mhm.
still, you still lost.
Yes.
It's still not good.
Mhm.
It's still not good enough.
Right.
We have about a minute then.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Tim's sitting on the other side, so we don't see the computer this time. So I'm just trying
Right.
to help
Yeah.
out.
He put me in the corner.
Well deserved. Well
Got
deserved. Anybody who hates the only player on this team that makes a difference.
I don't hate him. Okay.
Got to do it.
He just.
I know he
wants to give
doesn't.
me-
I've got to give him hell. But yeah, that's pretty much the show for this week. I'm sorry that we don't have something better for you and hope and all this stuff, but no, I'm the realist in the group, and I'm sorry to say it. There is
Yeah.
no hope. And the biggest thing they could do to screw up this year now is win,
Yeah.
because that would be typical
Mhm.
Lions to win out and not get anything. for
Right.
it. All right, Tim, take us home.
Okay. Go Lions. Lions on the prowl. One pride. Detroit.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week if I can actually do this, which I'm.